Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. You've been telling me that you are riveted by what's going on in the weather. And I know I've been speaking about California, but I also want to talk about a couple of other states. And I want to thank the Healthy Americans that are sending me links and information and other data that will help me in my research. I also want to let you know that I am aware of Deborah Tavares. I've actually been on a summit with her in the past, and I'm also aware of Dane Wigington over at the geoengineeringwatch.org. So thank you for alerting me to that. I'm also aware of HARP. I've actually been following and digging and researching into this for many years, even though I haven't spoken about it on this channel that much, although I do have some videos about the unnatural fires and floods and other things that have been going on. So I do bring that coverage from time to time. What's going on here in California is not natural, and they admit it. And by they, I mean those who are manipulating the weather. There is hard data. There is proof. There are facts, and I'm going to share all of that with you by way of a couple of websites. And then at the end, I also want to share with you 3 action steps that you can take, because the question is, what do we do about this? I want to thank everyone that has been sending me your emails, your information, and I've got some personal things that you have sent me that I will make a point of reading at the end of the broadcast as well. But the first thing that I want to do is take you right on over to a website, and we'll hop right on over. This is called Weather Modification Association. Here we are, the Weather Modification Association. I know it's a little bit difficult to see the writing here on the website. So what we'll do is take you right on over to their project locations. And this is voluntary. Anybody that is involved in a weather modification project can submit it here. Let me show you. They can submit the project right here. And it is a map of weather modification programs around the United States and the world. So what we're going to do is look here at the United States. Well, you can see there are some projects going on. Let's see, there's one in Argentina. It looks like a big one in Greece for rainfall. We're going to focus on the United States and the western part of the United States. So this is a very interesting interactive map. And right here, I am going to click on what's going on in California. So we've got the Sacramento area. My friend Renette brought us an eyewitness perspective, and that is airing on my Rumble channel. So here it is. It's got the name of the project, which is the Upper American River Snow Augmentation Project. Are you with me? The company that's doing it is the RHS Consulting, and that is at this website I'm going to click on, and that is, we'll just go straight on over to skywaterventures.com. I have been unsuccessful in contacting them. I would like to find out who is funding this project for the snow augmentation in the Sierras here in California. And they do blatantly and boldly proclaim on their website that our goal is to design and develop effective cloud seeding programs that provide additional responsible water sources for the environment, our families, and future generations. And they do both on the ground, where they seed, they spray these chemicals into the air, and then they also do it from planes as well. Friends, I've done a series of videos already where I broke down exactly what they're spraying into the air, how they do it. We talked about why are they doing it. I will have links for those videos for you to watch next. So this is just one in a series of videos. I cannot cover every aspect in every single video. I want to keep the videos under about 20 minutes, but I do have additional information in my previous videos. So let's go back. And the purpose in this video is to give you actual hard data, to bring you the receipts, so to speak, so that you can share this information with others who are saying, I don't believe that this is going on. I think this is all natural. Well, they're admitting and they're showing you the projects that are underway right now. So let's share the screen again, and we'll hop right on over to the project locations page. And what we'll do, so that was in Central California. Let's look again. Fresno, that's by the same company. And this is the Kings River Project. So I did a little digging, and Kings River Project, this is from, I'm just going to grab my, here we are. That is a project that is done with the Kings River Conservation District. This is a government district, kind of like the water district, almost like a county, board. And here I'll leave the links for you to dig deeper, but they are the ones that have a contract with this project here, which is actually called snowpack augmentation. So they are paying this company that I just showed you, the Skywater Ventures, to increase the amount of snow in this area. And they do it by increasing silver iodide, spraying that into the air. And they also, I don't know about this project in particular, but they also put other particulates in the air, including carbon dioxide. Yes, they do. All right, let's go back and take a look at another. Let's look here in, let's see, this area of California. Oh, we'll just go back one, close out that screen. Oh, this is still the Kern River. And let me go back one. And this is all the entire thing. So that goes on from November 1st until April 30th. The one in the Sacramento area goes till May 15th. So buckle up. Looks like you're going to be having a lot of snow. That's their project, snowpack augmentation for 190 square miles. Now down here in Santa Barbara, that's what this is. Here, I'll increase the screen. In Santa Barbara, with the county of Santa Barbara, they are doing rain enhancement. And I shared that with you on a previous video. So we're going to click here. We can see it's the Santa Barbara project. That is with the county of Santa Barbara. Your tax dollars, if you live in Santa Barbara, are going to this company right here called North American Weather Consultants. Yes, because they consult with the weather. And here the tagline says, climate and weather experts, we make it rain literally. So they talk about right here, cloud seeding for conscious rainfall and snowfall augmentation. If you would like to contact them to find out how much this project is and who exactly is paying for it, I have not had any success, but I would love for my healthy Americans to do that. Before we go on any further, friends, that's going to be one of the action steps, is to contact your local government agencies, your cities and your counties, your state, and you can do a Freedom of Information Act, but it's actually very simple. You can contact the clerk, your city clerk, and you request the information for any agenda items, any meeting minutes, and any contracts that have been conducted by your city related to weather modification projects. You might want to call it cloud seeding, rainfall enhancement, snowfall enhancement, so that it doesn't raise, any red flags if you're talking about weather modification. And you do that with the county and you do that with your state. And that's a first step to get your hands on this information. It's possible that they're going to delay, they're going to try to prevent you from getting that information, but that would be one way to do it. I showed you already 2 government bodies. One is the county of Santa Barbara that's involved in this. This is in California, and the other is the Kern. What was that one that I showed you? That was the Kings River Basin. Kings River is doing the modification. Kings River Conservation District. They are also doing these projects. So that is what's happening here. And I want to also show you the federal website called NOAA. We're going to hop right on over there and I'll share my screen. Big thank you to all of the healthy Americans sending me these tips and links. This is very interesting. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I've been on this website over the years, and what I wanted to bring to you is this page that lists weather modification project reports. This is not conclusive. This is not every weather modification project around. It says that there is a public law that all non-federal weather modification activities must be reported to the U.S. Secretary of Commerce via this program office. These are only updated on a quarterly basis. The most recent one I could find was going through May of 2022. And you can see it right here, snowpack augmentation. Here are several: increased precipitation in Idaho, snowpack augmentation in Idaho, Central Colorado, snowpack precipitation augmentation, augment snowpack, all through here. Now, notice this one here in Gunnison. That was back in 2021. All right, this is really interesting. Here's how I do my research. So I'm going to click on this report here. And again, I will just read it to you if it's a little difficult to see on your screen. And it ran from November of 2021 till the end of 2021. And it shows that they had 11 days in December and 3 days in November, and they put silver iodide in the air, 284 units. I don't know what that measurement is. And in December, they did 3,726. Well, let's take a look at this, shall we? I happened to go over to the Gunnison River Basin, and this says that the crazy snowpack numbers have people talking. A news story, and this is 2021, a news story on Denver's 9 News in early June reported that snowpack in the Gunnison Basin was at 350,000% of average. Yes, that number is absolutely accurate. So snowpack, and they have based, and I just showed you the project in Gunnison. This is artificially created snow. Are you with me? Here you go, Gunnison. And the other thing that's interesting, when I was reading these reports, they never file I'm sorry, I'm actually looking at a different Gunnison, but these are two very interesting things here. Let me take a look. Actually, I think it is the same. It is Colorado Gunnison Basin Roundtable. This is absolutely accurate. So in 2021, they had over 52,000%. It was 52,000% more than average. And I just showed you that this is artificially created. So that was absolutely stunning to me. And there you have that information. Let me get off the share for just. So the conclusion that I'm drawing here in California with these record blizzards and snowfall, and I have pictures in my previous videos, which are just astonishing. And I want to read to you a few snippets from another eyewitness there in this area. This, in my conclusion, is artificially created. It defies logic. It defies what we've seen normally. And I'm showing you that there are weather modification projects going on in these areas currently. And then I showed you in 2021 that there was a project in Colorado. And then the news was saying that they received 52,000%. It was a 52,000% higher than average snowpack. This is artificially created snow. Many of you have told me, and let me grab some of these comments from my Healthy Americans who have said, I'll have to cue those up for you in just a moment. What I'm going to do first is show you some more pictures, and then I'll let you know what these Healthy Americans on the ground are saying about the quality of the snow. It's not normal. It doesn't melt. The snow plows are not working on it. It has a very strange component. There are no snowflakes. There are snow clumps. So this is the artificially created snow. And they also will do it by spraying, wait for it, carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Yes, some of those reports that I looked at NOAA, you can poke around on your own, show that they are putting carbon dioxide in the air to artificially create the snow. And then, as I've said it before, and I'll say it again, the reason why these evildoers are doing this is because they want to have people believe that this was created by you using a plastic straw and you having a plastic bag at the grocery store because you're so environmentally irresponsible. And then they want to create laws to really manipulate the environment in the way that they want it to be. And they want you to pay for it because in California, we have the strictest regulations. We have the most onerous laws here in California related to all of that, and they want to control your behavior. They want to control where you live. So if they can literally destroy your home, tell you that it's uninhabitable, the next step is you're going to be moved out of those, more rural areas and into the Pack'em and Stack'ems, into their 15-minute cities, and heaven forbid, into the freedom cities that Trump was talking about. I'm going to cover that in an upcoming video. It was very strange to me. I'd like to hear your comments on it. And of course, they can also jack up the utility rates. They can jack up the insurance rates. They can make it difficult, if not impossible, for you to grow food because of what they're doing to the environment, and then telling you that it's because of your actions. And I just showed you the proof that these are done intentionally. This is artificial snowfall done on purpose and for probably other nefarious reasons that I haven't even mentioned. I did do a video on that yesterday. Why are they doing this? So here, let me show you another image. As I was poking around about snow plows and are they working? You never know what the internet's going to serve up. And I just came across this interesting piece of information. And I think that this was also, February 2021. This is in Arkansas. It says the POA employees, someone let me know what POA stands for. I think it's some type of homeowners association or maybe emergency services. They work to weather the snowstorm of the century in Arkansas. And the news report says those of us who have lived here for decades have never seen weather like this. We know that many of our residents are from northern and Midwestern states where this kind of weather is the norm. Our mild four-season climate is part of our appeal here in Arkansas. And many of our neighboring states are in what is usually called the Sun Belt, and they have been belted with snow, treacherous frozen roadways, and loss of power and water. This is a little place called Hot Springs Village, and they say this will go down in the record books as the snowiest month in Arkansas in the past century. Now, I did not find the weather modification projects related to this in Arkansas, but I bet that you can find it if you do a little more digging on those websites that I showed you. But I am drawing the conclusion based on the fact that weather modification projects are happening by private individuals. Let's say that there is an owner of a ski run and they have their snow blowing machines. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump to imagine that they would contract with some of these companies in order to create more snowfall. We know that the counties are doing it. We know that these conservation boards are doing it. So I am drawn, and we know that the federal government is doing it because NOAA says if you're not doing a federal weather modification project, you should list it there. So the conclusion that I draw is that there are federal weather modification projects. And the conclusion I'm drawing in Arkansas with the snowfall of the century, where it normally doesn't snow, is that that was also artificially induced. So friends, let's go to the action steps, and then I will share with you a couple of messages from our Healthy Americans. All right. 3 things that you can do for action steps. Number 1, share this information. Let people know about these websites. Share this video. I will have links in the description box below of these websites that I've shared with you in terms of the weather modification and the NOAA, and you can do a little digging there. I would love, as another action step, for you to contact these weather modification companies and ask them if they can share information in terms of what projects they have going and if they are with public agencies, government agencies, private agencies, and so forth. Number 2, you can do a request from your county clerk, your city clerk, even in the Secretary of State in California, and request the information, the minutes, the agendas, the contracts that these public agencies have with weather modification companies. And that would be another action step that you could take. And then step 3 is I want you to be prepared. I want you to make sure that you've got your batteries, you've got additional fuel so that you can stay warm. Are you able to build a fire if you are in one of those areas? It's likely that most people that live in the mountains are more self-sufficient. They are more prepared. And I do want to let you know that if you go over to my website, actually, I'll just tell you it's preparewithpeggy.com, preparewithpeggy.com. That is where I get my emergency food supply. This is not the type of food that I eat on an everyday basis. I don't believe it's organic and gluten-free, but it is going to keep you alive if you are snowed in or all the power is turned off, if they shut down your ability to leave your home and all of that. You will have this food to be able to prepare. So we've got a 3-month, that's what I recommend, is a 3-month supply for every member of your family. And if you get the 3-month supply over at preparewithpeggy.com, I just want to read to you the message that you are going to get their a $200 value survival gift as a free bonus. And that is actually, I believe you're going to get the Alexa Pure Water Filtration System. So check it out. Preparewithpeggy.com. There's all sorts of things that you can look at there. This is my, what I call food insurance. I hope that I never will have to use it, but it gives me peace of mind to know that it's there. And then I do want you to stay connected. Keep sending me all of your information, your eyewitness reports. And here I wanted to share a couple of things from our Healthy Americans. Jay Mars says, being from Buffalo, I know snow. We were up in Mammoth before the last storm and it was 40 degrees and the snow was not melting. He writes, there was some runoff, but I thought it was odd that the area was not completely flooded with snow melt. It was also blowing 30 miles an hour, so we couldn't ski. But when they snowed, when they plowed the snow into piles, it was hard as a rock. He writes, and it had a weird consistency when I was trying to make a snowball, but now it makes sense to me because it was artificially created. All right. Bernadette says that we've had several heavy, wet snowstorms here in Michigan in the last 2 months with huge branches breaking off trees that have been there for many years. Oh, it's always heart-wrenching. And she says a lot of trees are dying. The snow does not look real to me. She says it's so heavy. So many people are talking about how heavy it is. It's so heavy and wet that the snowplow doesn't even work. Lots of people are losing power for days. The utility bills are going up every month. That's another side effect that they're going to do. And she said they're also spraying all over the skies. I'm fed up with all of it. Red Racer wrote, in most snowfalls here in Northwest Indiana, the snowflakes are more like snow clumps. And that's because of what they're spraying in order to create this artificial snow. Let me also say one more thing. A couple of you made comments on a previous video when I talked about how ironic it was that the California Office of Emergency Services said that you should remove the snow from your roof because it's very dangerous. Of course you should do that. I was not telling you not to do it. I was pointing out the absurdity and the gaslighting because they created this snowstorm. People couldn't even get out of their house, let alone get on their roof to remove the snow. And then I just described to you that the snow is so unusually heavy and its qualities make it so difficult to even move. I was pointing out the contradiction and the absurdity of the very evildoers that are creating these disasters, telling you to go clean it up. I was not recommending that you should not do that or that it was not the right thing to do. I think you understood that. All right. A couple of people didn't, so I just wanted to clarify. I'm going to finish with this last, a few snippets from my lovely Cynthia, who is literally on the ground there. And on February 26th, she wrote this comment. She said, I called Butte County, the Public Works, 3 times to get a snow plow out to our cul-de-sac, and because she didn't want to have happen what happened the year before. And she said that there definitely was a blizzard going on. I'm just it was a very long email, but I wanted to let you know that she was saying that they were not getting the help that they needed in that area. And she said, in all of my past 28 years of living on the ridge, whenever we would have snow, the snow plows and the tractors would be on my cul-de-sac as well as on every other residential street because, friends, their tax dollars are paying for this. She said they would be there within hours, even several times a day if need be, so that we could get out. Not even 6 inches of snow ever had a chance to accumulate between the snow plowing before they would come by to keep clearing the streets. Often they would add some sort of sand mixture that would help us with traction on the road. She said this is the second time that we've had a major snowfall in the last 2 years where we have been completely forgotten about. We are going on day 4. She said, we need a snowplow to come out here and others are getting it and we aren't. No ambulance could even get up here. The power kept going on and off. She does have a generator, she says, but what about people who don't? So that's another thing you definitely want to be prepared. There is no way they could get out of here and get somewhere warm if they are trapped because of the unplowed streets. How are the propane trucks going to get up to us if our generators deplete what is in our tanks? Those of us who use propane tanks fuel our hot water heaters, and we will have no hot water. And so she goes on, and this is the most important thing that I wanted to point out. It never used to be like this. Okay, this reminds me of the firemen that let the fires burn. It never used to be like that. We had a fire behind our house about 30 years ago in my childhood home. And when the fire department came, they said their number one priority is to protect people and property. And I'm not seeing that anymore, given the eyewitness news that's coming in from my Healthy Americans. As she says, where is all the money going? Are we being gaslighted into accepting this as the new normal? This is Cynthia writing. Just like when I heard the Cal Fire captain telling us to expect 500-acre fires as the new normal. She said she heard that at Board of Supervisor meetings. And she said it was like he was reading from a script, telling us like it is, as if they don't have the ability to combat fires and prevent them from consuming our wildlife and our neighborhoods. She says this is corruption and fraud at its worst. It is evil. And you know, Cynthia, it is stunning to me, and I want to tell all my Healthy Americans as I sign off here, especially when it comes to protecting life and property. All of the money that we have in California, we're supposed to have some kind of surplus. And of course, the governor declaring another emergency, that's another side effect of all of this. There's more federal money coming into the government. And when there's an emergency declaration, they can control the people's movement, tell people to stay inside and all of that. Wouldn't you think, as the years go by, with technology, with drones, with just technology, being able to know what's going on, to communicate, don't you think that they would be fighting fires at a much higher level of efficiency and effectiveness? It wouldn't be the opposite. Don't you think they would be able to do this snow plowing of the neighborhoods in a more efficient and effective manner? Wouldn't they have increased the number of snow plows? Wouldn't they have hired more people? Wouldn't they have hired more firefighters? Wouldn't they have had more stations? Wouldn't they have had more ways to detect and combat these fires? Why is it the opposite? Why are they telling us that they won't be able to do it? That's gaslighting, my friends. We have the facts. I shared them with you, and stay tuned for some upcoming videos where we're going to be looking at all of this ideas that I don't care for, which are side effects of all of this climate catastrophe that they are orchestrating to get people out of their homes so that they can move them into these 15-minute cities, these smart cities, as they call them here in the United States. And we will be doing a series of videos coming up in terms of what to look for, how to stay in communication with your cities, with your counties. I know that they're corrupt, friends. I'm on the front lines of that. I totally get it. But it's still nice to rattle their cages. It's still nice to let them know that we know what they're on, what they're up to, and we're on to them. I think it does rattle their cages, and we need to do that. All right, friends, signing off for now, always over at thehealthyamerican.org. And you can sign up for my free Substack. That's I will have a link for you in the description box below. See you soon, everybody.